Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Michael Curtis Bowen, on this evening edition of Fire of Liberty as we continue to transcend, enlighten in this marvelous, spectacular golden age of a wonderful, renaissanceistic transition. Of course, the marvelous use of the new words, which I can really elaborate on. Heavenessence, like the essence of like heavenly essence, living, and ultimately attributes, and then of course radiance, existence, and then that input, and then that transcendence and the radiance which exists, of course, and then the understanding of the human body, which of course has many different, which I've already reiterated, many different amazing parts, such as radiation, such as many different types of the cells can multiply, can create many different types of, for example, connections to water, all the elements, water, fire, earth, air, to the wonderful ignition and unification of the pretty much our innate ability, which has always been there, which we all have innately, and ultimately not innately, as in like that innately would consider it was hidden, but it's like the inner ear, I guess. So that's just, I guess, an example to break it down, just for one part of our heavenessence. If that's like, if we were to break down heavenessence is a brand new word, and I should really provide the definition. It's actually quite a lot what it sounds like. Heavenessence is ultimately the type of spiritual evolutionary aspect, trait / characteristic of the next level of clairessence, as well as clairsentience. So ultimately they're combined, and of course also at that unique level of ultimate blissness and eternal bliss, which I described in the Vedas and in the many different types of Gita chapters, and also in this book right here. Chiranjiva Bharajwaja, but I already mentioned that. Those very key chapters, also very enlightening. But what's actually we're able to do just intuitively, kind of, not necessarily just intuitively, but kind of more of that, needs to be a word for that, but just travel onto like a brand new type of path, per se. Like a path that was never traveled before, or something that's completely like imagine and then create that imagination path, and then of course it goes on. And I already mentioned electromagnetic, mastery intelligence, and majestic, I believe it was multicreationaistical evolution, and I believe the other one was transdimensional recreationaistical intelligence. And of course the amazing thing is that of course nature is a beautiful thing, and nature is what we are part of, which is very key. The attributes and all those traits, the wings, for example, to the legs, to the different types of key parts that make that certain animal or insect or cloud or ocean animal or creature unique. Of course, that is a unique part of us, which of course allows us to be ultimately in living eternally forever, ultimately forever, and that's very good news. And so it's it's important to not reiterate that, but I think, of course, that's already known, and more now it's more just as a celebration. So it's just of course, like our existence, our being, our thoughts, our aura, our abilities are able to interact with the weather and with the sky and with plants and trees and with all life, because that's how we interact. I mean, there's symbiotic relationships all over nature, and those symbiotic relationships are, of course, very, if I were to put into one word, valuable. And so, of course, we're accelerating and expanding, which is a positive thing, and then growing ever more. So, and that means the acceleration of the foundation, which has already been created, but also the establishment, which of course is really grand, which is of course which needs, of course, more, indeed, unity in order to accelerate advancement. Is the the unity of a spiritual unity, which is key for really just the development of absolutely completely, which is ultimately similar in the case, but absolute complete unity in terms of not necessarily as in actually, let me break it down this way. As in spiritual unity for accelerated transcendental nature enhancement, full of heavenessence in the multicreationaistical avenues, expeditions per se, and insights, and sky lines, sky view, sky structures, and as in sky, as in the sky, as in 0 point gravity, as in, of course, those really grand, advanced type of balanced, technological at the same time, advanced, technological, advanced, fruition, creation, magnificent, transcendence. For example, tools and creation. The unity thing is, or the great unique thing is the unity that is, of course, clarified with the understanding of the spiritual evolution. And I mean, that gives key ideas, of course, and that's very key to spiritual evolution in general, to the life of those incredible beings that live ultimately, which is which is really just a higher state of consciousness ultimately, but also, so one, we not only know but are in a higher state of consciousness ultimately. And also important is that and I'm going to put this in a positive note, and this is good, is that the water, the earth, the trees, the land, the plants, the animals, the materials, the elements, and those natural occurrences between them, which can be called friction or forms of energy rubs, lightning, earthquakes, mudslides, etc. Of course, and this is a very, of course, positive thing, and this is what's so grand about the structures, for example, on other planets, but also on this planet, are the indestructible structures. Indestructible. So let's just start with that. Indestructible, immortal, and indestructible. Super never-ending and radianifical. So that's just a little creative, positive breakdown on this evening edition of Fire of Liberty.